Greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that his presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Well, today we're going to take a one-session break from 2 Peter and going to do something I don't normally do. I typically do not preach or teach or do my devotions according to the headlines or according to the secular calendar. I figure that I have the news, not the headlines, not social media. And the news is that Jesus is Lord, that Jesus is risen, and that Jesus is coming again, that he died for our sins and he rose and he's returning and he's the one who reigns. So I try not to let, current events kind of dictate my teaching, preaching, or devotions. I'm not always chasing after those. I'll never be able to keep up with all the news, but truth is, I have the news, and the news is that Jesus is risen. But today I'm going to make an exception. Today is election day, and the reason why I'm making the exception today isn't just because it's election day, but it's because of the fear. This election season, I don't think I've ever seen such fear created by what's going to happen if the wrong person wins. And so, the Kamala Harris camp, they're saying if Trump wins, it's the end of democracy. And the Trump camp is saying if Kamala Harris wins, is World War III. So just they are both masters, experts at creating fear. And so there's just this incredible weight and fear that, oh no, if that person wins, it's basically the end of the world. And how do we respond to that? How do we not be a people that's just governed by the fear that media creates, that politicians create, that it seems to be so prevalent? And Psalm 11 keeps coming to my mind, and especially the opening lines. So in the Lord I take refuge, so how can you say to me, flee like a bird to your mountain? And in the psalmist condition is people are saying to the psalmist, it's time to run, it's time to flee, it's time to get away. The things are so evil that the foundations of the earth are being shaken. And so it's time to do whatever you can do to get away, to run. It's the end. And the psalmist is saying, how can you say that to me? How can you tell me to flee, to run away? Because in the Lord, I take refuge. And the psalmist goes on to say that the Lord knows what's going on. The Lord sees. The Lord tests the righteous, yes, but the Lord's the one who's in charge, and there will be justice for the wicked, and the righteous will be saved. And so how can you say to me, run away, like everything is hopeless and everything is so bad that it's actually beyond God's judgment, beyond God's justice, beyond God's ability to bring about his kingdom and his righteousness? And so the psalmist is saying, no, I'm taking my refuge in the Lord. I'm not going to be governed by fear. And I think that's the thing that we need to hear today. That's the thing that I'm being reminded of as I hear all the fear being generated is no, I'm not governed by fear. I'm governed by the Lord. And I don't know how this election will turn out. And I don't know who to believe because I typically have a hard time believing either party. What they're best at is generating fear of the other party. Neither party, well, I won't get into commentary. But what they're best at is generating fear and trying to get us to react to fear. And no, I'm not going to be governed by fear. In the Lord, I take refuge. So here's the whole psalm, if you want to hear it, Psalm 11. In the Lord, I take refuge. How can you say to my soul, flee like a bird to your mountain? For behold, the wicked bend the bow. They have fitted their arrow to the string to shoot in the dark at the upright in heart. If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? And right there, that's the fear. That, oh no, the foundations are going to be destroyed. It's going to be World War III. It's going to be the end of democracy. It's the end. So what can you do? How can you talk to me like that? In the Lord I take refuge. Verse 4, The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes see, his eyelids test the children of man. The Lord tests the righteous, but his soul hates the wicked and the one who loves violence. Let him rain coals on the wicked, fire and sulfur, and a scorching wind shall be the portion of their cup. For the Lord is righteous. He loves righteous deeds. The upright shall behold his face. So wherever you find yourself scattered today, in the midst of all the fear that's being generated, don't let that fear govern you. The Lord is our refuge. The Lord is our strength. The Lord sees, the Lord knows, and the Lord will bring about his righteousness, his justice on the face of the earth. God bless. Have a great day, and may the Lord's kingdom come. And may we not live in fear, but live in confidence of his kingdom. God bless. Have a great election day.